Good morning, Dominique. It's Monday. Non-flowering plants that don't smell, because there are some pear trees on campus, everywhere on campus, that just smell a little like butthole. Beginnings or endings? This is the last day of Vita for me, and I'm really glad we did this, Dominique, because I just feel like I've learned so much during this month, not just with videos, but just outside with life experiences. I've learned so much, and I think this is a month, and I'm not just not trying to be cheesy or cliche or whatever. I honestly think this is a month that I'll remember for a long time. But today I mainly want to talk about the life experiences that I had this month outside of the video realm. Do you remember that video I made in early February that included a very harsh judgment of someone in my public speaking class? Just roll it. I don't know who's over there. This kid who looks like he's from Amish country raises his hand really, like, super fast and furious. And then he goes on about how he listened to this CD with his friend and they cried after 2 hours of hearing the powerful music. In my public speaking class, we had to work in small groups to solve a problem that we found on campus. I had some really cool people in my group, which is great because we met for 2 weeks every night for like 3 hours. And in my group was the guy that I talked about in that February video. Going into the group work, I was really just judgmental, and I was like, oh great, this guy's gonna try to run everything. But he wasn't what I expected, and it taught me that I shouldn't judge people. There was one night in particular when each member of the group started leaving individually, because we had been there for like 3 or 4 hours at this point. But he stayed, and I was there because I was like, I don't really have anything to do until 8 o'clock. And then Dominique, our one friend from high school, came over, and we talked for like an hour about music and video games. And at one point, the guy brought up that CD that he had mentioned in the one speech that I made fun of him for. And he told me that it was by a group called the Deer Hunter, and they had released this album called The Color Spectrum. And the songs on the album go by color. And there's 36 songs on this album, divided by 9 makes 4 songs for each color. It goes from black, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, violet, indigo to white. And each song captures the essence of that color and the emotions behind it. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, the fact that I judged him for crying over this album, and then he let me borrow the album the next day, and then I subsequently cried during one of the songs. I don't want to be a nerd like my sister, but this honestly made me think of Pride and Prejudice, me being Lizzie Bennet and this guy being Darcy, except no romantic attachments at all. Because she judged him because he was all formal and he seemed arrogant and all that stuff. And that's exactly how it was with me and this guy. Other things I learned during this month. Even if you really want a friendship or a relationship to work out, and you try to put all of this effort into it, sometimes it doesn't work out, and you have to accept that, and it can be really hard. Because you might want something from that friendship that the other person doesn't want, and it's just not gonna work out, and you have to just let it go. You may be an introvert and you may hate small group work, but sometimes it's really nice to just sit down with a group of people that you've never really had the chance to talk to before and talk about where you're from and weird things that have happened in your dorms, and, you know, come together to solve the biggest problem on campus, which is that there's no lactose-free milk at the dining hall. I really hope you liked Vita just as much as I did. I'm counting on you to wrap this month up in like a grandiose way, putting all of the pressure on you. Dominique, I will see you tomorrow, and have a great week.
Better than